NYPD, LAPD, NYPD.
Hi everyone, welcome to week 3 of module 110. In this video, I'll be covering the study guide for this upcoming week. So let's get started. Number 1, the process that helps identify potential hazards and analyze possible outcomes if a hazard occurs is called risk assessment. So risk assessment is the process that helps identify potential hazards and analyze possible outcomes if a hazard occurs. Number 2, risks that are associated with an organization's ability to develop and maintain effective management practices is called institutional risks. So institutional risks are associated with organizations' ability to develop and maintain effective management practices. Number 3, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, or DHS, defines risks as the potential for an unwanted outcome. So when the potential for an unwanted outcome occurs, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security defines risks as this. Next, what should first be done to establish a baseline risk assessment? Well, that is to conduct a preliminary security survey. So to conduct a preliminary security survey is established as a baseline for risk assessment. Number 5, which organization provides the threat and hazard identification and risk assessment protocol? Well, that would be the U.S. Department of Federal Emergency Management Agency. So the U.S. Department of Federal Emergency Management Agency is responsible to provide threat and hazard identification and risk assessment protocols. The next one, speculative risk, include, well, it is a category of risks that can be taken on voluntary or will either result in a profit or loss. All speculative risks are undertaken as a result of a conscious choice. Next, we have risk. Risk is the likelihood of an unfavorable outcome or event occurring, elusive and hard to define. It also is a measure of probability and a severity of the adverse effect. So when we talk about the likelihood of an unfavorable outcome or the measure of probability and security of adverse effect, that is what we categorize as risk. Next, we have the process used to plan for continuing operations after a loss or other incident is called a risk management. So risk management is the process used to plan for continuing operations after a loss or other incident that has occurred. Next, we will talk about which protocol helps the whole community understand its risk and can be used to estimate capability requirements by matching risk to core capabilities. And that is the THIRA. The THIRA is the protocol that helps the whole community understand its risk and can be used to estimate capability requirements by matching risk to the core capabilities. Next, we have the first step in the process of risk management, and that is to recognize the threat or threats. Next, we have the first step in the process of risk management. The first step to risk management is to recognize the threat or threats. Next, we have one of the primary legal concerns when using video surveillance systems, and that is privacy. Privacy issues are the primary legal concerns when using video surveillance systems. Next, we have a normal key that is specially altered and manipulated to open locks is called a bump key. A bump key is the normal key that is specially altered and manipulated to open locks. Next, we have master key can be used in what types of locks? Well, master key can be used in a cylindrical lock set. It can also be used in a deadbolt. and it can also be used in an electromagnetic lock. So electromagnetic locks, deadbolts, and cylindrical locks are can be used with a master key or can be opened or accessed through a master key. Next, we have the most widely used lock in the US for exterior and interior building doors is the pin tumbler lock. The pin tumbler lock is the most widely used lock in the US for exterior and interior building doors. Next, we have an important step in an effective risk assessment is cost-benefit analysis. The cost-benefit analysis is the most important step in an effective risk management. Next, we have the four basic steps to the THIRA process are identity threats and hazards of concern, given threats and hazard context, establish capability, and apply the results. So apply results is the last basic step for the THIRA process. Number 19, how many different types of risk are there that a security management needs to assess? Well, there's five different types of risks. The U.S. Department of Energy separates human adversaries into three classes. The first one is insiders, the second one is outsiders, and the third is outsiders in collusion with insiders. 21. What is the security survey usually conducted? Well, that is conducted on site. Okay, security surveys usually are conducted on site. Next, we have the primary factor of physical security is perimeter security. Perimeter security is the primary focus of physical security. Next, we have an informal workplace security survey is limited to an individual's blank area and responsibility, and that is immediate. An informal workplace security survey is limited to an individual's immediate area and responsibility. 24. The warded lock is one of the primary types of blank locks, and that is mechanical. The warded lock is one of the primary types of mechanical locks. And finally, a process that helps identify potential hazards and analyze possible outcomes if a hazard occurs is a risk assessment. The process that helps identify potential hazards and analyze possible outcomes if a hazard occurs is a risk assessment. Well, with that, guys, we've concluded today's video with the study guide. I hope this helps, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this portion of the video. Other than that, I'll see you guys, and I hope you guys are doing well and that you guys are keeping safe. Bye, guys.
NYPD, LAPD, NYPD.